Hello everybody. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Riki Ganesa Bayuaji. And now I want to present my study titled Company Sustainability Strategy in Pandemic Condition or COVID-19 Case Study at PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung TBK. And now, as you can see that in 2020, we're facing the COVID-19 pandemic that occurred to the whole world. And the impact of the pandemic, there are restrictions of activity. You can also say it social distancing, and some other country will call it a lockdown condition, which is impact not only for the health sector, but the whole sector in the world will impact by the COVID-19 pandemic. In Indonesia, the gross domestic product, as you can see here in the illustrated here, the growth of the economic in Indonesia in Q3 in 2020, they are facing inflation because of the pandemic. But in Indonesia, some sector got the exception of the effect of the lockdown. And one of the exception sector is construction, where the construction itself contributes about 11% of gross domestic product in Indonesia. And one of the company in construction, there's a PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung TBK. As you can see, the asset is quite high. Why I choose PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung, because some other company above it is a state-owned company, which is below the government, but PT Wijaya Karya is a private sector. I think it's more independent to get the study. And PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung itself got the one of Indonesia's fast growing public company in 2019 held by Warta Economy. Here the picture of the sustainability, which is there are three aspects: economic, social, environmental. The economic is about the cost and revenue that will lead the company to growth, and the social aspect is about the trade, employee welfareness, that it's how the company interact to the social, including the charitable activity. Besides economic and social, there's also about the environmental. That's about the land use, the management of the waste, resource consumption for the building sector, about concern about the green building concerns to the world. The theoretical that I took during my study is about stakeholder theory, legitimacy theory, resource-based theory. The stakeholder theory tells us the company itself is depend on the stakeholder. Stakeholders theory states that actually a company is not just an entity that only tries to operate to fulfill its interests, but also the companies need to be able to provide benefits to their stakeholders. The support provided by stakeholders is very influential on the operation of the company. The stronger the influence the stakeholders has, the more efforts the company needs to make to adapt. The next theory I use is a legitimacy theory. In legitimacy theory, the focus on the interaction that occur between the companies and communities. It also states that a company will continue to seek way to ensure their operation are within the limits and norms prevailing in the local community. It's explained that in order to maintain its survival, a company seeks a kind of legitimacy or recognition from investor, creditor, consumer, government, and the surrounding community. To gain legitimacy from investor, company always try to increase stock return for investor. And to gain legitimacy from creditor, the company will increase its ability to pay debt. To obtain legitimacy from consumer, companies will always try to improve the equality of the product and services. To gain legitimacy from the government, company will try to comply with all laws and regulation established by the government. As you can see that in pandemic, the need of the concern in health area is more concerned by the company itself. So it's about how the company make a strategy that adapt to the pandemic condition so that the company will survive and continue its operation. And the next is research-based theory. In this theory, there are 4 criteria that must consider by the companies in order to produce competitive advantages. The 4 things are valuable, inimitability, rareness, and non-substitutability. And there are 2 criteria for discussing research-based theory, namely heterogeneity and resource immobility. Heterogeneity is related to capability equality of competitors. When this condition occurs, it is not a competitive advantage for the company. Meanwhile, resource immobility explains that the company actually has a capability that is not owned by its competitor, but the cost required by the company to do this requires needs a large amount of funds. It is also not a competitive advantage for the company. And the research methods that I use in this research, in this study, that is the first thing I do an interview. In this interview, there's a Q&A in-depth way that is tried to analytic way and those who understand the event and the situation in the field. As a result, it can strengthen the information held by the research. Interviews here were conducted on 1 president director of PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung and 1 director of finance, human capital, and risk management PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung, 1 corporate secretary PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung, and 1 manager of marketing PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung. Besides the interview, the research also will do content analysis that will analyze the content of the sustainability report that has been conducted by PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung. Sustainability report is a report where it's published by the company with the intention of reporting the company's performance achieving covering all environmental, social, and economic aspects. Research study topics raised by the company in its sustainability report. From this highlight, the company also looks for strategic sustainability issues that have been taken up while running its business. Researchers will also discuss the main stakeholders of the company as well as achieving and targets set by the company. First, we discuss the company profile of PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung. PT Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung is a subsidiary of PT Wijaya Karya Persero Tbk and it's engaged in construction services. And here's the vision and mission of the Wijaya Karya Bangunan Gedung. And the vision is to be preferred partner in creating spaces for better human life. And the mission is quality in product and services, care for life, key stakeholder engagement, governance and good ethic practice, innovation to boost growth and value creation, and the value is agility, caring, excellence. Here the organizational structure of the company is led by president director, director utama. There are 2 operation director and 1 director of finance and 1 of director technique and development. This is in line of the vision by the company that want to create a space. So it's need a director that's concerned about the growth, the development for the operation. And here the company transformation tagline. The company established in 2008, and in 2012 the company still focused on profitability. 2014 focused on diversification of property strategic business unit, and in 2017 the company become a public company, Indonesia Stock Exchange, that will lead in 2023 that become a world-class space provider. From 2017 to 2018, the company saw the growth of the net sales, but in 2019, the net sales, you can see that it's decreased because it is in 2019 is political years. There's an election of the presidential for the Indonesia, and in 2020 the company faced the pandemic that is not only for the Indonesia but the world. So it needs a strategy that to reach the tagline in 2023 to become world-class company. The sustainability reports conducted by the company with the themes the value creation for sustainability development is in line with company vision becoming the preferred partner in creating space for better human's life. The same point of the creation is sought by company organization that there are one director of technique and development. The technique and development directors is responsible for the creation of the company to create new thing that will be value that it's advantageous competitive for the company. There are 6 corporate sustainability strategy held by the company. That is green construction or building product, stakeholders engagement approach, sustainability impact concern, good corporate governance and business ethics, innovation for growth and value creation, implementation of sustainability aspect. Here are the SWOT analysis by the company, and then here the SWOT analyzing during pandemic. We can see that the strengths of the company is still the innovation and business development and the management system. The weakness is about restriction of the activity and resource during pandemic, and vendor engagement where the vendor demand payment in advance that will influence the cash flow of the company, and of course finally the financial capability. And the opportunities is there are new market about health facility, hospital need for the special condition, and the threats is about delay of some project and the cancellation of the project. From the pie chart here about the percentage of contract by stakeholder or owner here, that in 2019 the company still dominated by the private sector, but in 2020 the company switched its strategy to more for the project held by the government because the assurance of the payment for the project. And about the sustainability aspect, as I said in the beginning, that the first is about environmental aspect. The company do is increase the efficiency of energy use and updating the value of the company by meeting the standards that will increase the value of the company. In economic aspect, the corporate creating positive operating cash and do some financial engineering, resolving bad debt. And the social aspect, there are Perkampuan Braga, it's community development partnerships Kampung Jati, there's reforestation activities, and construction of a special COVID-19 hospital. And here we come to the conclusion. The sustainability strategy in summaries of the company is the sustainability strategy is summarized in company sustainability policy as a general direction and guidance for the company and its subsidiaries and partners in responding to economic, social, and environmental issues that are relevant and important for business sustainability. The sustainability strategies itself include green construction, stakeholder engagement approach, sustainability impact concerns, good corporate governance and business ethics, innovation for growth and value creation, and last, implementation of sustainability aspect. The company is projecting a target accuracy for December 2020 with selective winning strategy and optimizing all resources to win the bid. The tender process for the company is not related to COVID-19. The company makes a strategy through financial policies so that the company can survive the COVID-19 pandemic. This policy entails creating positive cash flow, financial engineering, and settling bad debts. That is all for me. We are open for next discussion. Thank you for attention.